On my birthday, the school heartthrob boyfriend gave me a silver bracelet, saying that silver can attract wealth. I didn't believe it, but within a few days, I actually won 100 million. I happily went to claim the prize, only to find the next day that my bank account balance had vanished overnight. Not only that, but I was also paralyzed from the waist down, and my face looked 30 years older. I tearfully turned to my boyfriend for help, only to find that he, who was supposed to be from a poor family, was now driving a sports car, and his supposedly paralyzed sister could suddenly stand up overnight, while his 60-year-old mother had transformed into a woman who looked like she was 20. I confronted him, asking if there was something wrong with the silver bracelet. He shoved me hard to the ground. "Where did this lunatic come from? You must have watched too much TV and gone mad." After dying with resentment, I was reborn on the day of my birthday. My boyfriend looked at me with ill intentions, holding a silver bracelet in his hand, ready to slip it onto my wrist. At the birthday party, just after finishing the birthday song, my best friend suddenly announced, "Our campus heartthrob, to show his sincerity, has specially prepared a surprise for Sage. The Pei family's ancestral silver bracelet." Upon hearing the words ancestral, our friends all started cheering excitedly. I'm excited too, but unlike the joy from my past life. Seeing that silver bracelet glowing faintly, I clenched my fists tightly, realizing I had been reborn. "Sage Lin, let me put it on for you." My boyfriend, Levi Pei, unaware of my unusual reaction, reached out to put the silver bracelet on me amid the crowd's cheers. Thinking of everything these two had plotted in my previous life, I jerked my hand back abruptly. Clang! The wine glass shattered, and the once lively atmosphere instantly fell silent. My boyfriend looked at me suspiciously. "What's wrong, baby?" My best friend was holding her phone live streaming. Suddenly, she shoved the camera right into my face. With a tone dripping with jealousy and a hint of disdain, she said, "Sage Lin, school hottie Levi Pei is so handsome, yet he likes you of all people. Could it be that you're actually looking down on his gifts?" In my past life, I simply thought Luna Chen had a crush on Levi Pei, without realizing that the two had long been in cahoots. Today, under the pretense of celebrating my birthday, she was actually performing a duet with Levi Pei. Just watch. If I dare say yes, tomorrow I'll be labeled as a gold digger and scorned by the entire internet. Once I comply with their wishes, my wealth, health, and youth will be completely taken away. At this thought, a playful mood surged within me. I smiled slightly at Luna Chen and said, "Of course not, it's just that after only a month of dating, he's already giving me a family heirloom. It feels too extravagant." Hear my explanation. Luna Chen was so jealous her eyes were practically dripping with blood. Levi Pei, however, visibly let out a sigh of relief. "Baby, you always feel insecure about your weight, but I've told you, I love you for who you are inside." I thought long and hard before deciding on the silver bracelet. It might be a bit cliché, but it's deeply meaningful. By the end, Levi Pei spoke cautiously, "Baby, unless you really think the gift is cheap," like Luna said, it was the same in the previous life. I instinctively resisted this faintly glowing silver bracelet. But on one side, Luna Chen was being aggressive, and on the other, Levi Pei was emotionally blackmailing me. Under pressure, I had no choice but to accept the bracelet. This time, under the watchful eyes of everyone, I let out a cold laugh. Just like in the previous life, I quickly accepted the bracelet. The difference was, under the relieved gazes of the two, I swiftly slipped the bracelet onto my own wrist. "Ah, why did you put it on my hand?" Luna Chen let out a scream. As if she had touched something horrifyingly filthy, she abruptly stood up and frantically tried to remove the bracelet like a madwoman. While doing this, she didn't forget to curse at me. "You damn fatty. How dare you put such a creepy thing on my hand? You're going to be the death of me." I sneered inwardly. So it turns out that when the knife doesn't cut your own flesh, you don't feel the pain. In my previous life, even when I became paralyzed, Luna Chen still thought it was due to a car accident, showing that Levi Pei didn't fully trust her, yet she clearly knew this bracelet could steal someone's fortune. Yet she still helped Levi Pei harm me without hesitation. Now, just by scaring her a little, she turned as pale as death. Even forgetting that the bracelet's curse only takes effect when the wish is fulfilled, I leisurely admired the green bracelet on my left wrist. She carefully admired the white jade bracelet on her right hand, which had an even better water quality. You always say your wrists feel bare and want to borrow my bracelet for a couple of days. Today, I'm just returning the favor. Besides, when you took my bag without asking or used my skincare products, did you ever stop to ask why you thought you could? Good sisters share everything. That's what you always say. My family used to be about the same as Luna Chen's, but a few years ago, we got tens of millions from demolition, and my dad made hundreds of millions from his business. Luna Chen started looking at me with disdain, finding fault with everything about me. I thought she was just venting. Little did I know, she actually wanted me dead. Luna Chen was so frightened that she lost all composure. She slammed the bracelet onto the table with a loud thud. Sage Lin, don't you dare slander me here. I'm not a freeloader like you. I'm an independent, modern woman. Levi Pei, finally snapping out of his daze, stormed over angrily. Sage, what the hell are you doing? In 2 quick strides, he picked up the bracelet from the table and examined it carefully. After confirming it wasn't damaged, he warned me sternly. I know you and Luna are close, but if you give away my things without permission, I'll be furious. At first, I didn't know. The reason Levi Pei took a liking to me, a chubby girl, was because he found out my family was wealthy. Compared to me, Luna Chen, who came from an average family, wasn't his first choice. In the past, I was most afraid of Levi Pei getting angry. Now, seeing me just staring at him without arguing back, Levi Pei thought he had me under his thumb. And his expression turned smug. He slipped the bracelet onto my wrist in one swift motion, his eyes sparkling with mischief as he coaxed me. Sweetheart, you haven't made your birthday wish yet. Quick, wish to win 100 million. This silver bracelet of ours is a real wealth magnet, you know. I let out a mocking laugh. Pretend to clasp your hands together and make a wish. I just opened my eyes, before I could even blow out the candles. Levi Pei grabbed my shoulders with both hands and anxiously asked, So baby, did you wish to win 100 million? I grinned and said, Of course not, it's my birthday. Why would I wish for 100 million? Levi Pei didn't expect that I actually didn't follow his advice. After 3 seconds of reaction, he slammed the table hard and stood up abruptly, roaring at me in an almost hoarse voice. Sage Lin, you big idiot. Do you have any idea what you've just missed out on? Because the movement was sudden, all my friends were stunned. Levi Pei, have you lost your mind? What's gotten into you? Seeing him so worked up, I leisurely blew out the candle. Not only did I smile at him, but I also playfully winked. Darling, if your silver bracelet can attract wealth, how could 1 billion be enough? Of course, we should aim for 10 billion. 1 billion. Seeing me grinning, Levi Pei froze. The expression on his face shifted from anger to shock, and finally to greed and overwhelming joy, hearing the crowd still criticizing him. Levi Pei seemed to suddenly remember what he had just said. He quickly sat down and apologized to me. Baby, I was wrong. I got too carried away just now. Please don't take it to heart. Of course, I wouldn't take it to heart. After all, what I want isn't his apology, it's his life. The birthday celebration is over. In a corner by a dumpster, I found a woman whose lower body had been amputated. Her hair was crawling with fleas, and she looked at me with pleading eyes. Could you spare me $1? Or maybe some food? The corners of my lips curled into a smile. I can offer you a chance to start anew. Want it? As soon as I finished my work, the first thing I did was rush home to find my dad. My dad was visibly surprised to see me. Isn't today a work day? How do you have time to come back? After receiving the demolition compensation, my dad leased an orchard in our hometown, and Luna Chen's father was responsible for purchasing pesticides in my previous life, even when no one believed me. My dad waved his hand and said he would support me. And just when I thought that even without health and youth, I could at least help my dad manage the orchard, the day after returning home, all the fruit saplings died. It turned out that Father Chen, in order to take kickbacks, had bought fake pesticides. Not only that, but in an attempt to bankrupt my family and monopolize the orchard he co-owned, he even deliberately spread insect infestations. This caused my father's hair to turn white overnight, and he was driven to jump off a building by workers and loan companies. Thinking of this, I immediately urged my father to thoroughly check the accounts and had trusted individuals inspect the pesticides. Additionally, my father and I stayed up all night, urgently assessing the growth condition of the saplings. 3 days had passed by the time all the business was over. Fortunately, there was still time. Although Mr. Chen's father had discussed the contract, he was still waiting for my dad to sign it. My dad broke out in a cold sweat from fright and immediately went to report the case. As for me, I could finally sleep peacefully. When I woke up, there were dozens of missed calls on my phone and a pile of messages from Levi Pei. Baby, did you buy a lottery ticket on your birthday night? If you win, you must tell me. Baby, I went to see some townhouses these days. Which one do you think looks more impressive? Baby, this Tesla looks great. What do you think? Looking at the flood of photos featuring villas and luxury cars, I raised an eyebrow and glanced at Levi Pei's profile picture with a look that said, "Are you serious?" I replied, "Are you sure? This Tesla costs over $1 million. The immediate response came, "Yeah. Although it's just the mid-range model, it's passable." After saying that, he quickly sent me his ID photos. "Baby, if you buy a car, remember to put it under my name. Driving comes with risks, and I should be the one to bear them." Suppressing my disgust, I replied, "You only make $5,000 a month now. After deducting gas money, you can barely support yourself. Can you?" Levi Pei shamelessly said, "But I have you now, baby. Once you win that $1 billion, will our family even care about such small change? Besides, Luna Chen told me your dad bought you a 500,000 yuan BMW. I'm a man. I can't possibly drive a worse car than yours." I was stunned by his shamelessness. "Why don't you ask your dad to buy you one?" The other party is typing. 3 minutes later, Levi Pei replied angrily, "Baby, I have to say this. Do you know how hard it was for my parents to raise me? How could I possibly mooch off them? But you're different. You're an only child. Your dad's money will eventually be yours anyway. Why not have our dad prepare a wedding house for us in advance?" After saying this, he pulled out the first villa photo. "I think this one looks good, and it's not too expensive, just 100 million. Just put it under my name, so you won't have to trouble yourself with property inspections or collecting keys later. I'd feel bad for you otherwise." I couldn't help but roll my eyes. "Truly worthy of you. Wu Dalang selling pots. Full of schemes. Newton, are you going to do something about this?" "Newton, that's not my department. That's my brother Nyo Bai's job." I don't reply to Levi Pei's messages. Yet he bought various lottery tickets online in my name. He kept calling to remind me to check the results on time. Perhaps sensing my displeasure, he then apologized to me. "Baby, I just really want to have a home with you. I can't wait to marry you soon. If you're worried about putting names on the house or car, you can keep the money in your bank account first. Remember, it should be in a bank account under your own name. Having more savings gives a girl more confidence, right baby?" In my previous life, I didn't go home after celebrating my birthday, so I never got to see that smug face of Levi Pei. Now he keeps egging me on to make money, all to fuel his own luxury car purchases and womanizing. Of course, I wasn't about to give him the satisfaction. I simply quit my job outright and even bought equipment to work out at home every day. Besides that, I also opened an online account to help my dad sell fruits. In my previous life, the reason I was deceived by Levi Pei wasn't just because he colluded with Luna Chen, but more importantly, I lacked self-confidence, which led me to develop a love-struck brain and be led by the nose by that scumbag. Now that heaven has given me a chance to make amends, I must improve myself from the inside out. Just like that, when I successfully lost 10 pounds, Levi Pei suddenly called me in the middle of the night. I turned it off and activated sleep mode. Early the next morning at dawn, Chen Xiaoting, who had driven 100 miles to rush home, angrily banged on my door. "Sage Lin, how could you just quit your job like that? Do you know, something terrible happened to Levi's family, and he's been going crazy trying to find you." I rubbed my sleepy eyes. Yawning lazily, I said, "Why come to me if something happened to his family? I'm not his mother." Luna Chen choked on her words, pointing at me angrily, stammering you for what felt like ages, At this very moment, Levi Pei called again. Under Luna Chen's fierce gaze, I had no choice but to answer. Levi Pei sounded anxious. Sage, where are you? Do you know my sister's condition has worsened? I can't find you anywhere. I'm going crazy. The doctor said her leg suddenly started rotting and growing hair for some reason, and it needs to be amputated. The surgery costs 200,000. Sage, my sister and I really need you right now. Can you come to the hospital? In the past, I might have rushed over immediately, but now, I slowly took a sip of water. Go find a doctor if your sister's condition is worsening. Why come to me? Besides, she's your sister, not related to me at all. Do you expect me to fork out 200,000? I didn't expect my words to sound so harsh. Levi Pei choked, but Luna Chen, the pure love warrior, couldn't take it anymore. She suddenly rushed forward and snatched my phone. Sage Lin, your future sister-in-law is sick, and here you are making sarcastic remarks. Do you even have a conscience? I don't care. Today, I must take you to the hospital. Fine. I was planning to see how Levi Pei's sister Pei Jing ends up anyway. Since that's the case, I might as well take this opportunity to check the first wave of results. When I arrived at the hospital, Pei Jing had just been wheeled out of the operating room. Her face was deathly pale. Upon seeing me, she first rolled her eyes at me, then glanced behind me, after confirming that I had come empty-handed. With nothing in my hands, Pei Jing's voice was dripping with sarcasm, laced with mockery. TCH, they really just sent a person. Some people, not only do they refuse to help those in need, but they don't even bring ginseng or bird's nest when visiting the sick. What a shameless skinflint. The reason Levi Pei and I got together, on the road, I happened to encounter Pei Jing, who had fainted in her wheelchair. At that time, I quickly called 120, accompanied her to the hospital, and even advanced 10,000 yuan for her hospitalization fees. But my kindness did not earn Pei Jing's gratitude. On the contrary, in my previous life, when I faced a major crisis and couldn't reach Levi Pei after dozens of calls, I finally turned to Pei Jing. I begged her to tell me Levi Pei's whereabouts, appealing to the life-saving favor I once did for her. Instead of repaying kindness with kindness, she set her chihuahua on me to bite me. Despite my desperate waving from the wheelchair, I couldn't stop the chihuahua from biting my numb legs again and again. I howled in despair. Pei Jing stood to the side, laughing like a honking goose. Honk honk honk, this is just too funny. Ha ha ha, Sage Lin, isn't this feeling of helplessness absolutely delightful? You saved me back then just to make me grovel with gratitude, didn't you? Well, how do you like my way of showing appreciation? Ignoring the pain in my hand, I tightened my grip on the chihuahua and snarled at her viciously. Pei Jing, if I hadn't called 120 in time, the doctor said you would have had to amputate. How can you treat me like this? Aren't you afraid of karma? Pei Jing kicked the chihuahua away, muttering under her breath about how useless it was. She crossed her arms and looked down at me with disdain. Karma, ha, that's my family's heirloom silver bracelet. Once it takes effect, there's no going back. You want revenge? Want me paralyzed or amputated? Nah nah nah. Maybe in your next life. Pei Jing made a face at me. Her expression was full of arrogance and recklessness. Thinking of this, I saw Pei Jing's sharp and mean face. I deliberately turned sideways to let her see my long, toned legs from working out. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. All my money was spent on fitness equipment. Pei Jing, look on the bright side of your amputation. After all, you've saved a fortune on gym expenses, right? Pei Jing was furious. She yelled at Levi Pei. Brother, why are her legs perfectly fine? Why wasn't she the one who got amputated? Didn't you say the curse was about to take effect? I feigned confusion, staring intently at Levi Pei as I pressed him. A curse? What curse? Levi Pei panicked. He hastily instructed the caregiver to wheel Pei Jing away, then he started trying to fob me off. Baby, my sister only talks nonsense because she can't handle the shock. After all, the doctors initially said there was hope for her leg to recover, but who knew it would grow hair and mold, even getting so severe that it had to be amputated. After speaking, he looked me up and down, his gaze scrutinizing. Baby, it's been 2 weeks since I last saw you, and you seem a bit different. I took a deep breath. Yeah, I don't know why my hair is getting whiter and whiter, and my body just can't keep up. That's why I'm thinking about working out." As soon as I said that, the doubt on Levi Pay's face instantly vanished. He could barely suppress the joy at the corners of his mouth, his tone eager. "Are you serious?" I took off the wig, showing off the recently dyed silver-gray hair. Levi Pay blurted out. "That's really great. What about the lottery ticket?" Perhaps realizing his reaction was off, he coughed a few times and said, "Baby, I mean, it's really great that you've started working out. So, what about the lottery? How much did you win?" I took out my phone and opened the app one had prepared earlier. "Look, $10,000. What? $10,000. Levi Pay thought he was seeing things and snatched my phone, frantically searching for the latest winning numbers. By the time we finished all this, half an hour had already passed. His voice choked with tears. "I've spent over $10,000 on these lottery tickets." After saying that, he looked at me again. "Sage Lynn, did you really wish for $1 billion on your birthday night?" I didn't make any wish that night. But that didn't stop me from lying through my teeth. "Of course, it's just a matter of moving my lips. Who can't daydream?" Levi Pay glanced at my graying hair, as if finding comfort. "Forget it. I remember there's another lottery ticket that won't be drawn for a couple of days. Maybe the billion is there." After saying this, he carefully put away the lottery ticket. "Baby, when you win that billion, I'll have luxury cars and a villa, and my sister's leg can be saved." Levi Pay looked at me as if I were a savior. I sneered inwardly, afraid I was about to disappoint him, because I had resigned abruptly last time. This time, I deliberately went to my friend's company the next day to complete the resignation procedures. While riding the elevator, I came across a help-seeking post on Zyro Hongshu. Suddenly appeared today. What is this? In the photo, a few ugly scars crawled across a young boy's chest. I recognized at a glance. This was Levi Pay's alt account. It seems that after exchanging health with Pei Jing, the old beggar is about to start stealing Levi Pay's youth. Someone replied below, "That's an age spot. OP, have you done something wrong recently?" The help post was quickly deleted. Within minutes, I just received a message from Levi Pay. "Baby, how's it going with the car and house we talked about last time? I heard you're back at the company today to handle some procedures, so I'm waiting for you downstairs at your office. The sun is so strong today." He deliberately chose the sunniest spot, just to post on social media. He even took a selfie. Wife busy working, me busy missing her, taking advantage of the last birthday party. He added quite a few of my friends. Soon, his social media post received a flood of likes. "What a great guy. So lucky to be your girlfriend." I sneered. In the past, when I asked him to pick me up from work, he'd make excuses, saying I was too fat. Now that I've slimmed down and become more attractive, he's trying to squeeze every last penny and ounce of affection from me before making off with $1 billion. I was just thinking about how to make the fish bite the hook. At this moment, an unconventional reply stormed into the comments section. "It's such a hot day, yet you made your boyfriend sit downstairs. Sage Lynn, how could you be so inconsiderate?" I took a look. Well, isn't this Luna Chen, who took me to the hospital yesterday but was called away by a phone call? It's like taking candy from a baby. See, the fish is biting on its own. I was just editing a message for Luna Chen. Her text came rushing in impatiently. "Sage Lynn, I see your whole family has had your conscience eaten by dogs. My father worked tirelessly for your family, and your father actually accused him of embezzlement. Levi has been so good to you, yet you couldn't even order him a coffee. Don't you and your father feel any guilt? In my previous life, my family went bankrupt." Luna Chen's arms must be sore from carrying all those LV bags. I refused to believe she was unaware of her father's dirty deeds. As for Levi Pay, how exactly has he been good to me? The kind of good that steals everything and leaves you wishing you were dead. I sipped my Starbucks and replied breezily, "So, what's your point, Luna Chen? All for true love, fighting against the dark forces. Sage Lynn, it was you who betrayed our friendship. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being ruthless. Now, I officially declare war on you. I'm going to take Levi back." I played along and replied, "What, you mean you and Levi?" Luna Chen said smugly, "You didn't know, did you? I've liked Levi for a long time. If it weren't for your family's money, do you think Levi would even look at you? My dad already told me your family's orchard is in trouble, and the fruit is about to rot in the fields. Once the lottery tickets you bought don't win, I don't believe Levi would still choose you over me. Luna Chen's stupidity. I was truly shocked. Knowing full well that Levi Pei was only with me for money, she still deluded herself into thinking such a person could have genuine feelings. When I didn't respond, Luna Chen sent me another screenshot. In the screenshot, she transferred 500 yuan to Levi Pei, telling him to find a cool cafe to sit in. Levi Pei didn't refuse and immediately accepted the payment. Luna Chen boasted triumphantly, "See, Levi has feelings for me. If you know what's good for you, back off." Feelings. Phut. Levi Pei only has feelings for money. But right now, I was just looking for an excuse to walk away unscathed. I was about to bring up breaking up. The security guard called, saying Levi Pei was making a scene and demanding to see me. By the time I reached the company's entrance, I saw Levi Pei's disheveled figure staggering in despair. As I approached, his voice even carried a hint of fear. "Sage, the hospital just called me, saying Pei Jingxi, she's dead." Luna Chen arrived at the hospital one step ahead. Seeing my grey hair and shabby clothes, a flash of triumph flickered in her eyes. With a cold snort, she said, "Sage Lin, it's all because you refused to pay 200,000 that Pei Jing died." After hearing from the security guard that Levi Pei had gone mad, I deliberately borrowed a faded shirt from the cleaning lady and hastily applied a haggard makeup look. I pretended to look blank and dull. "Luna, what nonsense are you talking about? My orchard is in trouble, and I've quit my job with no income. How could I possibly come up with 200,000 yuan? In the hospital, Luna Chen looked glamorous, while I resembled a 40-year-old village woman. At that moment, Levi Pei's mother walked over. She didn't even glance at me, her gaze immediately settling on Luna Chen. "You must be Levi's girlfriend, right?" Luna Chen's eyes lit up. After giving me a provocative glance, she grabbed Mrs. Pei's arm and said solicitously, "Auntie, please accept my condolences. If there's anything you need, just let me know." Levi Pei turned up his shirt collar to cover the wrinkled, sagging skin on his neck. "Alright, let's go see Pei Jing first." Morgue. Pei Jing's sunken eyes and dry, straw-like hair, though only a day apart. Her body withered as if drained of vitality. Pei's mother muttered incessantly, "The doctor said her case is unheard of. No one knows why." Despite the surgery's smooth recovery, she woke up one morning like this. If you ask me, Pei Jing's death is truly a good thing. Such an ungrateful person like her would only bring harm if left in this world, but I must maintain a solemn expression on my face, even shedding 2 happy tears. Though all of this was orchestrated by me, because when I handed the silver bracelet to the beggar, I told her it could take her back to age 23, giving her a chance to be young and healthy again. And to restore a 60 or 70-year-old amputee beggar, riddled with illness, back to the age of 23, such a backlash is enough to leave Levi Pei and his family of 3 with no place to be buried. Luna Chen was busy running around handling Pei Jing's funeral arrangements to curry favor, while I stood at the corner of the hallway, hearing the argument between Levi Pei and his mother. "What, you said you prayed for wealth, but you clearly told me you wanted youth. And to fly together with that pretty boy. Ah, son, don't be angry. After some advice from my sisters, I've come to realize, compared to youth, what can truly keep a man's heart but money? In my past life, I learned from Mrs. Pei that the so-called wealth, health, and youth depended on the Pei family's degree of desire for these 3 things. The reason Mrs. Pei wanted to look younger was that she had taken a liking to a man in his 40s, but the man preferred younger women. After being reborn, I immediately infiltrated Mrs. Pei's circle of sisters and brainwashed her into believing that money is far more reliable than youth. Slap. Levi Pei punched the wall hard in anger. He was furious. Damn it, no wonder the skin on my body has sagged so much. Was it that cursed bracelet sucking away my youth? Mother Pei, seeing the deathly grey skin on her son, recoiled in terror. Pei Jing. Could it be that Pei Jing died from the backlash of health? Levi Pei seemed to recall something and suddenly threw the lottery tickets he had once treasured to the ground in fury. To vent his anger, He even stomped on them several times with his shoe. What nonsense about a family heirloom bracelet. What winning a billion? I think that bracelet is nothing but bad luck. You'd better find a master to dispel it. Mother Pei was so frightened her legs gave way. She slumped to the ground, as if struck by a thought. She hurriedly pulled out her phone from her pocket. When she saw the numbers on the screen, her lips trembled, and her face turned ashen. It's over, 3 cents. Levi Pei, there's only 3 cents left in my bank account. I can't go on living. But Levi Pei still refused to give up. He grabbed his mother's collar fiercely. Damn old woman, I'm asking you, how can this be resolved? Mother Pei's eyes were empty. Warm tears soaked her aged skin. How would I know? I didn't even know this bracelet was useful. What I told you before was just hearsay. Levi Pei's hand went limp, his entire body seeming to lose its soul as he collapsed to the ground in despair. Just then, the crisp sound of high heels echoed from the hallway. Mrs. Pei's eyes darted as if she had grasped a lifeline. Son, didn't you say your girlfriend is rich? We can rely on her. Levi Pei frowned. Obviously, his first thought was of me. Mrs. Pei wiped away her tears and laughed. I noticed your girlfriend was wearing all high-end stuff. Didn't she say to come to her if we needed anything? We're short on money. She's got money. Isn't this a match made in heaven? Only then did Levi Pei realize his mother was talking about Luna Chen. His desperate expression instantly relaxed with relief. You're right, I know what to do now. I thought Levi Pei was going to break up with me. Unexpectedly, to my surprise, he proposed to me instead. I looked at him in astonishment. I thought I had misheard. Levi, are you crazy? It wasn't me who said that. But Luna Chen, under the pretense of thanking me for previously caring about Pei Jing, Pei's mother invited me and Luna Chen to dinner. At the table for 4, Pei's mother smiled warmly. Xiao Lin. Since Pei Jing passed away, Levi is the only son I have left, so I want him to settle down soon and have children to carry on the Pei family line. After speaking, she glanced at Luna Chen again. I know you and Xiaolin are best friends. Our family doesn't have much money for the bride price. So I'd like to ask you to persuade her, because we can only afford 800. What, 800? Although I wish Levi Pei would drop dead as far away as possible. But she could actually say something like 8008, and I couldn't help but stand up in anger. Luna Chen was also completely stunned, but seeing how strongly I reacted, she quickly composed herself, seizing the opportunity to make me uncomfortable. Watching me get frustrated, she smiled gleefully. Auntie, please don't say that. Giving bride prices for marriage is a feudalistic idea. As women of the new generation, we should marry for love, not for money, at this point. She gave me a disdainful glance. Sage Lin, your family is giving away fruits for free, and now you're so worried about making ends meet that your hair has turned white. You don't actually think someone like you, who has nothing, is still worthy of Levi, do you? Hearing what Luna Chen said, Mother Pei and Levi Pei exchanged a glance. I understood instantly. Well, 2 cunning creatures, they're using their son as a bargaining chip to make me and Luna Chen bid against each other. Of course. I wouldn't fall for her trick, otherwise, the act of pretending my dad's business is struggling would be for nothing. Luna Chen is jealous of my family's wealth, isn't she? And she treats Levi Pei like her unattainable crush. Perfect timing for me to step back. A noble person does not stand in danger's way. To deal with these 2 desperados, I'll keep playing the weakling. I clenched my fists tightly, my body trembling with emotion. Levi, even though I have no money and am not pretty, you still have a place in my heart. Luna Chen waved her hand grandly. Levi, as long as you marry me, once we're married, I'll add your name to the properties under my name. I won't ask for any dowry, and I'll give you the BMW X5 my dad promised to buy for me to drive. At the table, Mrs. Pei grinned from ear to ear. Levi Pei pressed hard on the dead skin on his wrist, afraid we might see it, and I could only run out of the restaurant disappointed, bawling my eyes out at the top of my lungs. Afternoon, Luna Chen posted their wedding photos with the caption, "What you couldn't have in your youth will haunt you for life." I'm lucky. I reached out and plucked my own white moonlight. She specifically tagged me, seeking my blessing. I looked at their wedding photo and couldn't help but sigh. How wonderful, after all. Trash belongs with the trash can. I sincerely replied below, wishing you two a long and happy life together. Luna Chen sent me a private message. I know you're just jealous. Not genuinely wishing me well. I kindly remind you, I hope you won't be completely taken advantage of by that mother and son pair. Luna Chen immediately snapped at me. Just admit you're jealous. Stop being so stubborn. Don't worry, I'll be happier than you. I didn't reply anymore. No good advice can save those doomed to perish. It's time for her to repay her karmic debt from a past life. Next, Levi Pei is busy showing off on his social media, luxury cars and designer watches. The photo only shows his face, covered in thick makeup, likely because the dead skin has spread there. Meanwhile, Luna Chen's social media is eerily quiet. Even that wedding photo was deleted at some unknown time. I only heard by chance that Luna Chen, for some reason, was already filing for divorce the day after getting their marriage certificate. I sneered. No matter how perfect a white moonlight is, once it turns into a mummy, who could possibly stomach it? I heard Levi Pei absolutely refused to agree to the divorce. Aunt Pei even took out Luna Chen's private photos, threatening to post them online if she continued to make a fuss. According to my dad, Luna Chen had no choice but to go home and ask her father for help. But Chen's father's former business partner turned out to be a fraudster. After swindling all his savings and even tricking him into taking on millions in loans, the conman simply vanished. Makes sense. In the previous life, it was Chen's father who personally vetted the partners after bringing down my family. This time, he was so eager to defeat my dad that he didn't even thoroughly investigate his partner's background. Two desperate men wanted to go home and sell their houses, but the old family home had already been seized by the court. And Luna Chen's new house was transferred to Levi Pei's name on the very day of their wedding. The day Luna Chen went home again to sell the house, only to be thrown out, I happened to be selling fruit by the roadside. Seeing Mother Pei still cursing not far away, I handed an apple to Luna Chen. Luna Chen, since we're like sisters, take this bag of apples to eat. Luna Chen saw me, stunned for a long moment, when she saw me wrapped in a scarf, rubbing my hands and stomping my feet in the cold wind. The shared misery of our circumstances finally awakened the faint sisterly bond we'd had for over a decade. From her dull, weary eyes finally flowed tears of remorse. Cheap yet penitent. Sage, I never thought you'd be living so poorly too. I was wrong, Sage. I shouldn't have listened to Levi Pei's nonsense in the first place and schemed against you. Now my family is broken. My house and car have been taken over by that mother and son pair. Every time I have a little money, Levi Pei snatches it away, or else he beats and kicks me. As she spoke, Luna Chen revealed the crooked scars on her hands, weeping bitterly. Why am I so unlucky? When will this miserable life ever end? I blew warm air into my hands, afraid she might do something drastic. I even pushed the bag closer to her. Life must go on, Luna. There's still a long way ahead. I deliberately emphasized the last sentence. Luna Chen, whose eyes had been brimming with tears, seemed to realize something. She suddenly looked straight at me. The next second, his eyes suddenly flashed with murderous intent. He grabbed a fruit knife from my stall and dashed swiftly toward the cursing figure. Ah! With just a scream, Pei's mother collapsed to the ground, covered in blood. The crowd scattered in panic. I let out a deep sigh. Slowly, I packed up the rented stall. Taking off my headscarf, I revealed my long chestnut waves, dyed back long ago, and whistled, "Buy one, get one free." Levi Pei, just waiting for you now. One ever since getting married to Luna Chen, Levi Pei, whose face had long been wrinkled like dried tree bark, hardly dared to step outside. But now her mother had suddenly passed away, with Luna Chen arrested and creditors banging on the door every other day. Levi Pei had no choice but to sneak out, fully disguised. Of course, I won't let him off easily. I had already bribed someone to monitor his movements 24/7, the moment he steps out. That person will notify the creditors. Every debt has its debtor, and every wrong has its avenger. I just don't want to enable deadbeats, but we won't resort to illegal activities. So at 9 p.m. that night, in the corner of the city, Levi Pei was chased onto the rooftop. "Why are you demanding money from me?" It was Luna Chen who borrowed from you, not me." Even at this point, Levi Pei still clung tightly to the watch in his hand, rightly so, after his house and car were seized by the court. The luxury watch on his wrist was the only remaining proof of Levi Pei's glorious days. "Luna Chen has already submitted the evidence of your domestic violence, seizure of personal premarital assets, and identity theft for loans to the police. At this point, there's no need for me to hide anything anymore." When I stood before Levi Pei, adorned in jewels and dressed in radiant attire, he was both shocked and terrified. "Is that you, Sage Lin? Are you here for revenge?" I smiled at him without denying it. Levi Pei was provoked and shouted at me, No, this can't be real. I must be dreaming. In reality, I drive luxury cars and have endless money to spend." The senior colleague beside me scoffed, "This guy's watched too much TV. He's lost his mind." Listening to Big Brother's P, Levi Pei glared at me fiercely again. "The bracelet, Sage Lin. Where's the silver bracelet I gave you?" I pulled it out from my chest and threw it at Levi Pei's feet. "You mean this one?" As soon as the old beggar got his wish, I had a Marushan Taoist priest remove the spell on it. To be safe, the priest directly melted the silver. And now, what I threw to him was just a fake silver bracelet worth $20. But these consecutive blows, coupled with the torment of being neither human nor ghost, had long since driven Levi Pei to a mental breakdown. At the sight of the only thing that could alter his fate, Levi Pei lost his mind, clutching the silver bracelet. He laughed and cried hysterically, "Ha ha ha, I want luxury cars and beautiful women, I want endless money, I want to return to reality." Then he leaped and jumped straight off the rooftop. Everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. The debt collectors looked at each other in confusion. "What's wrong with this guy?" I hadn't even said anything yet. I pointed at the surveillance camera above us. "He was the one acting crazy. The police will clear our names." After saying that, I immediately dialed 110 to call the police. From now on, my world has no supernatural forces, only hard work and sweat. Extra, a 23-year-old girl came to my orchard to apply for a job. She even asked me why I wanted to help her. As I wrapped the fruits, I said absent-mindedly, "Do you believe in karmic retribution from past lives? I dreamed that before I died, a beggar tore off a piece of his own clothing and covered my face with it. So I believe she isn't a bad person and am willing to give her another chance to choose."